7 divine signs God is leading you to your soulmate. Don't miss them. In a world brimming with noise and endless distractions, the quest for meaningful connections often feels like an elusive dream. Yet within our hearts lies a quiet yearning for something more profound, something divinely orchestrated. This journey to discover your soulmate is not just a search for companionship, but a spiritual adventure that unfolds with divine purpose and timing. It's about tuning into the whispers of your soul and aligning your path with a higher plan. As you embark on this sacred exploration, the universe begins to reveal its mysteries in subtle, yet powerful ways. It's about understanding that every encounter, every moment of serendipity, holds the potential to guide you closer to your destined connection. This is not merely a romantic endeavor, it is a journey of faith, one where trust in the unseen becomes your guiding light. You start to realize that love in its truest form is a divine gift waiting to be embraced. In the quiet moments of reflection, you may sense a gentle nudge from above, encouraging you to open your heart and mind. This is when you begin to perceive the signs and signals that the universe has placed along your path. It's in these moments that you learn to listen, not just with your ears, but with your spirit. As you do, a deeper understanding of divine timing and purpose unfolds, revealing that every step you take is leading you toward the fulfillment of your heart's deepest desires. The beauty of this journey is that it invites you to grow and evolve, to become the person you are meant to be. It challenges you to trust in the process. Even when the road seems uncertain, along the way you will encounter trials and triumphs, each designed to refine your spirit and prepare you for the sacred bond that awaits. This is a journey not just of finding love, but of becoming love itself. In embracing this sacred journey, you open yourself to the infinite possibilities that love, guided by divine grace, can bring into your life. It is a path of wonder, faith, and discovery, leading you to the divine connection that your soul has always longed for. Number 1. The whisper of destiny. Understanding God's timing. Have you ever felt like you're waiting endlessly for something to happen, only to realize later that the timing was perfect? Understanding God's timing is much like this. It's about trusting that there is a divine schedule for everything, even when we can't see it. Ecclesiastes 3:1 reminds us, "To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven." This verse beautifully encapsulates the essence of divine timing. When we talk about destiny, it can feel like a grand, elusive concept. But in reality, it is the gentle whisper of God guiding us through the currents of life. Sometimes it's a nudge to pause, other times it's an encouragement to leap forward. The key is listening and recognizing that whisper. The key is listening and recognizing that whisper. It's easy to become impatient, especially when we see those around us reaching milestones we yearn for. But it's essential to remember that God's plan for each of us is unique. Jeremiah 29:11 reassures us, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." Holding on to this promise can help us navigate through periods of waiting with grace and faith. In the waiting, there is growth. It's a time for reflection, for building a deeper relationship with God, and for preparing ourselves for the blessings to come. Think of it as the quiet before the dawn. The waiting is not a void, but a time filled with purpose. It is in these moments that God shapes our hearts, making us ready to receive His gifts. Understanding God's timing is also about surrender. It's about letting go of our own schedules and trusting in a divine clock that never falters. Proverbs 3:5-6 encourages us to trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge Him, and He shall direct thy paths. By surrendering control, we open ourselves to the wonders God has in store, ones that are often beyond our imagination. So, As you embark on this journey to discover your divine connections, remember to listen for the whisper of destiny. Trust that God's timing is always right, and find peace in the knowledge that He is orchestrating every moment with love and precision. Number 2. Paths of purpose. Aligning your life with God's plan. Understanding your purpose in life is like being handed a map for a journey you didn't realize you were on. It's about recognizing that you are part of a grand design, one that is woven with divine intention. Aligning your life with God's plan isn't about rigidly following a set of rules. It's about opening your heart to the possibilities that God has lovingly laid out for you. Jeremiah 29:11 reassures us with the words, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." This verse is a comforting reminder that the paths we walk are not random. They are carefully crafted by a loving Creator who desires only the best for us. To align ourselves with God's plan, we must first listen. This involves quieting the noise of our busy lives and tuning into the whispers of the Spirit. Through prayer and meditation, we can begin to discern the direction God is leading us. It might not always be clear, but as we take each step in faith, the path becomes illuminated. Our purpose often intertwines with our passions and talents, those unique gifts that God has bestowed upon us. 1 Peter 4:10 encourages us, "Each of you should use whatever gift you have received to serve others as faithful stewards of God's grace in its various forms." When we use our gifts to serve and uplift others, we are walking in alignment with God's plan. Sometimes, aligning with God's plan means letting go of our own preconceived notions of what our lives should look like. It requires trust, a deep, abiding faith that God's vision for us is greater than anything we could imagine. Proverbs 3:5-6 advises, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight." In moments of doubt or when the way forward seems unclear, remember that you are not alone. God walks with you, guiding your steps even when you cannot see the entire path. Embrace the journey with an open heart, knowing that each twist and turn is leading you closer to fulfilling your divine purpose. As you align your life with God's plan, you will find that the search for your soulmate is not a separate quest, but an integral part of this journey. When two paths of purpose converge, it becomes a beautiful testament to God's perfect timing and design. Number 3. The language of love. Recognizing signs from above. In our quest to find our soulmate, it's essential to attune ourselves to the divine language of love, where God gently guides us through signs and signals. These signs are often subtle and require a heart open to listening and a spirit willing to trust. God communicates not always through grand gestures, but often through the quiet whispers of our everyday lives. Consider how Elijah experienced God not in the wind, earthquake, or fire, but in a gentle whisper, 1 Kings 19:11-12. Similarly, the signs of love God sends us may come as a soft nudge or a quiet assurance in our hearts. Though they may not always be obvious, they are profound and deeply personal. Sometimes, these signs manifest through the people we meet and the connections we form. A chance encounter might be more than mere coincidence. It could be God orchestrating paths to cross at the perfect moment. Proverbs 16:9 reminds us, "In their hearts humans plan their course, but the Lord establishes their steps." This verse encourages us to recognize that while we may make our own plans, God is actively directing our journey. Pay attention to moments when you feel an unexplainable peace or joy in someone's presence, or when you find yourself growing into a better version of yourself through another person's influence. These could be signs from above, steering you towards a relationship that nurtures your soul and aligns with God's purpose for you. Prayer and meditation are powerful tools in discerning these signs. By seeking God's guidance, we open ourselves to understanding His will. Philippians 4:6-7 encourages us, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition with thanksgiving, present your request to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus." Through prayer, we invite clarity and reassurance, allowing us to trust the path God lays before us. As you journey towards your soulmate, remember that God's language of love is unique to each of us. Stay receptive, nurture your spiritual connection, and trust that the signs you receive are crafted with divine intention. In doing so, you invite the possibility of recognizing and embracing the soulmate God has chosen for you. Number 4, trials and triumphs. Growing through God's tests. Life is a journey filled with both challenges and victories. When we seek to discover our soulmate, we often encounter trials that test our faith and patience. But remember, these trials are not meant to discourage us. Rather, they are opportunities for growth and deepening our trust in God. Consider the story of Joseph in the Bible. He faced numerous hardships, betrayal by his brothers, slavery, and imprisonment. Yet, through all these trials, Joseph's faith never wavered. He understood that God's plan was unfolding, even when the path seemed difficult. As Genesis 50:20 reminds us, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good, to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives." Similarly, in our quest for love, we might face moments of doubt and loneliness. It's during these times that we can find strength in God's promise that He has a perfect plan for us, as expressed in Jeremiah 29:11. "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope." These trials are also a chance to refine our character and prepare our hearts for the love we are destined to receive. James 1:2-4 encourages us to consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. When we approach our struggles with faith and an open heart, we can emerge stronger and more aligned with God's vision for our lives. It's through these trials that we learn patience, resilience, and the true meaning of unconditional love. Embrace these moments of growth, knowing that each trial brings you one step closer to the triumph of finding your soulmate, a partner with whom you can share a life of love and faith. Keep your eyes on God and trust that He is guiding you through each test, shaping you into the person you are meant to be. Number 5, sacred bonds. The role of faith in true love. In every meaningful relationship, faith can serve as the cornerstone that holds two people together. When love is grounded in faith, it becomes something more profound and enduring than mere attraction or companionship. True love, in its purest form, is deeply intertwined with our spiritual journey and our relationship with God. Faith in love begins with trusting that God has a plan for each of us, including who we are meant to share our lives with. As Jeremiah 29:11 reminds us, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope." This verse reassures us that God's intentions for our relationships are rooted in goodness and hope. In relationships, faith is often tested. Couples may face challenges that seem insurmountable, but it is through these trials that faith becomes the glue that binds them together. Ephesians 4:2-3 encourages us to be completely humble and gentle. Be patient, bearing with one another in love. Make every effort to keep the unity of the Spirit through the bond of peace. These words guide us to cultivate humility, patience, and love, which are essential components of a faith-filled partnership. Moreover, a shared belief in a higher power can foster a sense of unity and purpose. When both partners prioritize their spiritual growth, they create a sacred space where love can flourish. This mutual devotion to faith enhances communication, empathy, and understanding within the relationship. Faith also gives us the strength to forgive and seek forgiveness. Love is not without its imperfections, and faith reminds us that we are all human and capable of making mistakes. Colossians 3:13 advises us to bear with each other and forgive one another if any of you has a grievance against someone. Forgive as the Lord forgave you. This ability to forgive is a testament to the resilience and depth of love rooted in faith. Ultimately, faith transforms love into an unbreakable bond that transcends the temporal world. It allows us to see our partners as God sees them, worthy of love and grace. Through this divine perspective, we learn to cherish and nurture our relationships, creating a lifelong journey of growth and joy. As you walk the path of true love, remember that faith is not just a belief in God, but a trust in His presence within your relationship. By embracing faith, you invite divine love to guide and sustain your union, making it a sacred bond that endures all things. Number 6. The power of prayer. Inviting divine guidance. Prayer is a sacred conversation with the Creator, a moment where hearts meet and divine wisdom flows. It's in these quiet moments of reflection and supplication that we open the door to divine guidance, inviting God to lead us on the path to our soulmate. When we pray, we are not just speaking words into the void. We are engaging in an intimate dialogue with the one who knows us best. Philippians 4:6-7 reminds us, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God, and the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus." This verse reassures us that through prayer, we can find peace and clarity, enabling us to trust in God's perfect timing and plan. Prayer is also a powerful tool for building faith. As we lay our hopes and desires before God, we learn to release control, trusting that His ways are higher and His understanding deeper than our own. In James 1:5, we are encouraged, "If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you." Seeking wisdom through prayer can illuminate our path, helping us discern the right steps to take in our journey toward love. Moreover, prayer transforms our hearts, aligning them with God's will. It helps us cultivate patience and perseverance, essential virtues as we wait for our soulmate. Romans 12:12 advises, "Be joyful in hope, patient in affliction, faithful in prayer." In our prayers, we find the strength to endure challenges and the joy to celebrate victories, knowing that each step is guided by divine hands. As you continue on your journey to find your soulmate, let prayer be your compass. Invite God into every decision, every longing, and every uncertainty. Trust that He hears you and is working in ways you cannot yet see. With an open heart and a prayerful spirit, you can embrace the divine guidance that leads you closer to the love you seek. Number 7. Miracles in the mundane. Finding love in unexpected places. Sometimes, the most profound connections are born in the simplest of moments. It's easy to overlook the potential for divine intervention in our everyday lives, especially when we are caught up in routines and responsibilities. Yet, it is often in the ordinary that God works His extraordinary plans. For it's rather in the ordinary that God works His extraordinary plans. Consider how often Jesus used everyday scenarios to reveal deeper spiritual truths. From turning water into wine at a wedding in Cana, John 2:1-11, to feeding thousands with just a few loaves and fishes, Matthew 14:13-41. He demonstrated that miracles can occur in the most common settings. In the same way, your journey to finding love may unfold in places you least expect. A chance meeting in a coffee shop, a conversation with a stranger at the park, or even through a shared act of kindness. The story of Ruth and Boaz is a beautiful biblical example of finding love in unexpected places. Ruth, a Moabite widow, chose to stay with her mother-in-law, Naomi, and ended up gleaning in the fields of Boaz, a relative of Naomi's late husband. It was in the fields, amidst the ordinary task of gathering grain, that Ruth found her soulmate and began a new chapter in her life. Ruth 2:1-3. God's presence is not limited to grand gestures. He often speaks through the still, small voice. 1 Kings 19:11-12. By remaining open to the possibilities of each day, we allow ourselves to witness the subtle ways He guides us towards our soulmate. It might be through a shared smile, a mutual interest discovered in casual conversation, or a moment of shared silence that feels sacred. As you navigate your daily life, keep your heart open to the miracles that might be unfolding. Reflect on Hebrews 13:2, which reminds us, "Do not forget to show hospitality to strangers, for by so doing some people have shown hospitality to angels without knowing it." Who knows what divine connections are waiting to be discovered in the most mundane of places? In these ordinary moments, trust that God is at work, weaving together the tapestry of your life. Be present, be patient, and be ready to embrace the unexpected, for it might just be the setting where your love story begins. Conclusion: embracing divine love. A faithful journey to your soulmate. As we reach the end of this exploration into the divine connections that guide us to our soulmates, it's clear that the journey is as much about discovering ourselves as it is about finding another. Embracing divine love requires faith, patience, and an open heart willing to receive and recognize the signs of God's presence in our lives. Throughout our journey, we have learned to listen for the whisper of destiny, understanding that God's timing is perfect, even when it feels uncertain to us. By aligning our lives with God's plan and purpose, we open ourselves to the path He has laid out, trusting that each step brings us closer to the love He intends for us. The language of love, spoken through signs from above, guides us gently toward our destined partners. These signs, often subtle, remind us to keep our hearts open and attentive to the divine guidance that surrounds us. Trials and triumphs alike shape us, molding our character and deepening our faith as we grow through life's challenges. Faith becomes the cornerstone of sacred bonds, intertwining our spiritual journey with the journey of finding true love. Through the power of prayer, we invite divine guidance into our lives, seeking wisdom and clarity as we navigate the complexities of love and relationships. Miracles often manifest in the most mundane aspects of life, revealing that love can be found in the most unexpected places. These everyday miracles serve as reminders of God's presence and the abundant love He wishes to bestow upon us. As we conclude this journey, let us embrace the divine gift of love with gratitude and faith, knowing that God's love is ever present, guiding us toward a deeper connection with both Him and our soulmate. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight. Proverbs 3:5-6. And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. Romans 8:28. May these words inspire you to continue your journey with faith and love, trusting that God's divine plan for your life and love story is already in motion.